Hi guys, this is Juan Felipe. I'm the mediator that are going to accompany you in this class. This is Legislation Informatics, and well, we're going to do 4 weeks. I'm quite excited about it. I think it's a quite nice topic. We have two modules here, and I really believe that two models are quite interesting and is actually, from my point of view, uh, of benefit for you because the models are actually in the same track that you need to go if you are doing software development. It's actually right into the software cycle, life cycle. So it's important to you to know it, I think, and more important, I think, is um, from benefit. So I hope you enjoy the class. I'm sure I will. We will have to synchronous or better video session. I wrote a few minutes ago in the chat of the course that if you want to participate actively in the video, you can. You just need to send me an email address and I'll put you in the same video call. So if you want that, that's also good. And you have my contact data in the platform in the canvas. Please use it. You can drop me a line whenever you want about anything. Obviously, it's easier about the course, but whatever, it's fine. Um, if I don't answer right away, don't worry. I will. At least in the same day or next day at the most. Mm, it's generally I do it very fast. I just answer right away. If I'm kind of busy or something, I can do it just you know, I just drop you a line saying in this moment I'm busy, but I will do it in the next hour or within the day. I will answer you. And you have my mail. It's quite easy. It's juan.pena@docentes.umb.edu.co. So please use it also. I'm checking my mail almost always. So, and I got it in the front. It's quite easy. So again, welcome to the class. Um, let's go to the point. We are going to be centered in two topics we need to talk about. First, we are going into the software license, and it's our topic today. And this is very important because every software has a license, even the software that you already wrote. For example, that calculator that you made in the first class of programming, or the database that you made in the mid semester of the career, for sure those have a license. Because there is always a contract between the user and the developer. And also there is a contract between the university and you because you made it in university as part of your formation. So everything of that mean that you did a contract. Maybe it's a tacit contract. It's a contract that is not right written, but it is a contract. Um, a particularly contract that means a lot from copyright. There's a lot of different concepts that we go through. Actually, it is quite easy because you have the module guide that has everything in it, and I'm sure you already start to read it, or if not, you will do it soon enough. Um, but the the important thing is that um, I will just center in the types of different copyrights and or the rights of the author, of the publisher, and so on. And our main topic today actually is about something else. In the guide, you have three different scenarios close to the end of the guide. And those scenarios is about different types of licenses of software, of course. So I want you to discuss that. I will start the discussion about that, and I will I will talk a little bit to to put some foundations in the discussion of those three scenarios, and I'm sorry, and I will also speak about um, what that is important to you in your career, in your future as a developer or software engineer, whatever. And also, in each of those three scenarios, I'm going to ask a question that's important to you because those questions will be the second activity source, the second activity input to you to answer. So that's quite important. So let's get into it. Um, but of course, first, I want to talk a little bit, just some minutes, about the course. I will share my screen just to see the canvas with you. So this is it. I only check that is yes. Okay. What you're seeing in my screen actually is the right now is the modules of this course. We have so two modules. It means that this course is 2 credit course, 4 weeks, and as I said before, our first course, our first module, sorry, it's software license, and we have another that is habeas data. If you haven't heard the term before, habeas data, it's Latin for I own my data and own my datum. So it's about the privacy of information, particularly the user information of any information system. And software license, like the name stated, it's quite straightforward. It's about the license of the software. Good. Um, the not so important, but the people should think or used to be think that is important. We have the activities. We have 5 activities that is important. The first one is already opened, and I want to do a slight emphasis in this. Oh, sorry, I caught a little flu. Um, the first activity is the forum to introduce yourself, and it has points, 5 points. That change. Um, those 5 points, you get it coming from three different sources. The first one is that you need to introduce yourself. Please tell us about yourself, your name, whatever you want to share with us is okay. Some of you put your picture, some of you didn't. That's okay. Whatever, it's okay. It's not mandatory to put a picture. And that's because they have as data actually. But you can if you want. Um, and I actually today I will try to answer your posts. I already saw two or three posts. It was a quite a nice picture of some of you with the daughter, and yeah, that was cute. After putting the introduction of yourself, you have to please make two questions that you have about this course, and it's important because whenever you start a course, you need to think about why I'm doing this course. What is the my purpose in this course? What do I want to learn in this course? So after that, it's good to put it in words, and put it in words meaning that you can actually um, make the question. And make the question is interesting because um, if you if you if you are if you can put it in a question means that you already understood, and maybe the verb is not to understand, the verb is to reflect. You have reflected about what you want to learn, and that's so important. So please make two questions about the topics about software license or Avis data, and thinking in that what do you want to learn, and go into another person post and try to answer those questions, please. And that give you 5 points. That actually, uh, as you are seeing in my screen, it will weight the 18th percent of the grade. After that, you will have different activities, four more. Those, each one will be graded as a 20%, 20-ish percent, and that is going to be the 100th total of the grade. Mind that there is no final exam. Actually, this is because about this, it's not important if you can't remember the number of the law of the year that was issued, or who issued the law, and if that description of the process of habeas data was in the writ, or was in the law, or was in the constitution. That actually is not important. What is important is that you have the experience about it. That's why we did activities, four activities, instead of a final term exam. And as you will see in the activities that I want to explain you, at least the three first ones, I will talk about the next two in the next video class. First thing is that, so in the first three activities, actually you are going almost for the 60%, a little less of 60% of the course. So mind that if you got this very good, actually you will be past the course, right? So those three are very important. The first one is very easy, please do it. However, mind that is available until the 9th of June, meaning Saturday, right? I think that Saturday, you have the whole Saturday. Let me check. Yeah, here. This is great discussion, Eugene. There's no. Let me edit it just to be sure. As you have already submitted. Yeah, Saturday. I Yes, isn't until Saturday the 8th. I said before 9, but it's the 8th. It's the 8th at midnight, so you have the whole Saturday, that means tomorrow. And so please do it. It's quite easy. It's just a line, not to be quite difficult. So just please do it. And and the most important thing, our two second and third activity. Mind this, actually all of those are active now. You can do it right away if you want. If you have time, start to do it. That's my hard advice. Just go for it. If you can do it, you need to read more, do it, but start it. And after you start it, you will know what you need. The second activity is a personal reflection. So I will do, like I said before, I will do make three questions today, and those three questions will be about our first topic, about licenses, particularly about our three scenarios. Those three scenarios, I will talk about those and ask a question each. After that, please go for a law answer, meaning think in the law, think in the copyright law, in the Cartagena Accords, and then answer it. And after that, please think in if you are actually um, if you are actually making that law. Well, first, if you knew that law before, and after that, if you are actually according to the law, your actions are according to that law. Uh, so yes, let's do that. That's quite easy. And about the rubric of that, please do it in English. Try it. I don't care if your English is not really good. Just do it. Try it. And if you need more words, more vocabulary, try it. Just go for it and try to find another word, try to speak in English. And if you do that, you will have the first 20% of the grade. If you don't, if you use a lot of language that is not in English, you will get known. If you see the rubric that is in the screen, you will see that the completed and the minimal dimension or stage are the same. So the initial means that you get a zero grade, uh, no credit, no mark. So try to do in English, and there is the 30% wage of the question. So I will ask the question, answer it, and you have 30%. And if you then you need to write a personal reflection about the experience that you have about those three questions. Please write this little essay, uh, and that's it. Yes, you have to do that until the 15th of this month. So please do it. And finally, we have the third activity. All right. The third activity, oh, it's to make your own software license. This is quite straightforward. Actually, you can start to do it right now if you want, because what you need to do is to find a software that is being used in a company or by a family, by you if you want, by your friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, boss, whatever you want, daughters, sons, and uh, try to think. the purpose of the software. And the purpose means we will go into it in a few minutes, but the purpose means exactly why is the value added by that software into the business. For example, let's talk of your daughter is using this software to learn math. If your daughter is learning math, the what is the business of the software? The business of the software actually is in the pedagogical and the learning process and how the people learn and how the learning could be mediated and that kind of stuff. So how that kind of business, I mean, this software is successful if your daughter learns math. If she doesn't, the software is useless, right? So that business, in that business, that adding of value, what is the best license to put in that software? For example, if it's better that it's free for your daughter, but how to get the investment back, but it's not free, you need to pay for it. How to get the money, how to transmit the software, etc. That kind of stuff you need to think. And then after that, and after giving that explanation, I want to see the license text. So saying that, I'm going to be right into it. Yes. So this is our module guide. I'm just checking that is yes, it's good. Okay, we have our modules guide. I will zoom it a little bit, and I will through rapidly. Particularly, I want to see this graph. This graph actually has a little footnote here, and this footnote states that this graphic is public domain. That means that the graphics is part of the knowledge of the people, meaning that anyone can use it, anyone can change it, anyone can transform it, anyone can actually integrate it in protective text. For example, what is happening here is that I wrote this guide that you are seeing and you have in your canvas, and I use uh, this graph in it. But this graph was made by Mark Webbing, and put it in the footnote. Uh, and I didn't ask him. I could, but I didn't. But the important thing is I didn't need to do it. And why is that? Because he put it in the public domain. And when he put it in the public domain, he said, okay, if you need it, just use it. It's yours. And actually, it's interesting because I have this this PDF that you are seeing in this moment. It's copyrighted. Actually, the Universidad Manuela Beltrán has the copyright of this particular guide, right? This is part of the university. You can reproduce it because without the permission of the university, you cannot do it. But I can use something that is non-protective in its copyright to put it in something that is copyright. And that is the meaning of the public domain. The public domain is you can do whatever you want. Um, and thinking in what we need to think that is software, there is no, well, there is no software that is in the public domain. There is code. Code you can get. There is code that is in public domain. That means that you can use that code whatever you need and use it. But it's not actually the program. I mean binary data is not in the public domain because it's not an artifact that you can actually use. So what is that thing that you can use in software is the code. So that's why the code is the public domain. But when you have a software and you want to use it in the in in any, or maybe you want to give a software to the world, right? And you want that the software goes um, to everyone. You have, I mean, I'm talking about free software. When I'm talking about free software, it means that it can mean two things: that you have freedom in the software, or is you don't need to pay. That is free of charge. Um, I will I will first speak about free of charge. Means that anyone that wants to use it does not need to pay for it, right? And that's quite nice of you. But there is a big question there. And most important question is that person that you are giving this software, they can use it in any way that he or she wants, or uh, they there are some rules that you put in that software in order that that person cannot use it again. So let's see. The first scenario that is freedom, right? The first scenario that is in that we call non-protective FOSS license means that actually you can do whatever you want with your software. Meaning, I if you, for example, you studios, you made this software and you give it to me, you as a gift, and I ask you, okay, thank you for your software. It's quite nice of you. Give me the software, and I want that software to use. So, what is the license that you are using with that software? Because I want to use that software and give it to another people. So I want to know what are the rules, what are the rights that I have in this software. So the correct question to do is the next one: is ah, if I use the software, and you know what, I'm actually writing another software, and I can use part of your software in mine. But the catchy thing is that my software, I want to sell it. So if I want to sell my software, can I use yours? And if the answer is yes, you are not using the first this kind of license. Actually, you are using a protective license. Uh, Sorry, I did it in the wrong way. You are using a non-protective license. Why? Because I'm not protecting your copyright, meaning that in the first, the not so important but first thing, people need to give you money. People give me money to me, but I don't give you money to you. So it means that I'm not protecting the interest of you in the sense that you are the author of the software. So I didn't give you any money for it. But more important is that I'm transforming your software in another way that your purpose. You put a purpose in the software and I transform that purpose and put it in a new software that have another purpose. That means that your copyright was violated. But if you say that I can do that, you put a non-protective license, it means that I can do it and it's no problem with you. But if you are like you will read it or you already read it in the guide, if you are like Richard Stallman who make the GPL license, which is the protective license more known in the world. Uh, he says, no, you cannot do that. You need to do first, you need to respect the copyright. So if you want to respect the copyright, the first thing is that you use the software, meaning that you need to say in your software that that software is from another third party. So you need to protect the copyright in the sense that you need to say, I didn't do that. I only copy it and I use it in this way. But more important, your users of the new software need to have the same freedom as you. So, meaning that you need to put a protective license in your software, meaning you cannot ask money for it. You cannot sell it. If you have a protective license, let's say GPL, if you have a GPL in a software, every software that is made from it must be GPL either. That's true actually from the third version, the version 3 of the license. In the version 2 of the license, there were some different things, but there you go. I mean, if you are using the version 3 of the GPL, everything that you made with that software will be GPL. Then it comes the EULA. The EULA is the proprietary license. That means that there is not copyright or whatever transfer of any right, only the distribution or the mm, using of the software. So it's the two cases more known. It's quite easy. You buy a software, example Office and Microsoft Office Word. You buy it in a store. You went to a supermarket. Nowadays, you can buy it in a supermarket. So you go to the supermarket, you buy it. Means that you buy the right to use it. But also you buy the the supermarket buy the right to distribute it, right? For example, they have two rights. No, they have the right to sell it, and actually they got profit from it. And then they give you, the supermarket give you the right to use it, but you don't have the right to sell it or to see the code or whatever. And there is one more license that we are not so fan of, but is or it's there also, that is called trade secret. The trade secret is when you cannot actually learn. That sounds quite weird, right? You cannot learn from that software, meaning that, for example, you are working in this company and they are developing security, national security software, and you know the process of that software, or you know certain process of the national security that is in the software. So you use it, you learn that process, but if you are outside that place or you finish your work or whatever, and anyone asks you if you know the process of, I don't know, to check the intelligence information of some people in the country, and you know it, you need to say that you don't know it because it's a trade secret. So you cannot learn from it. You can't use it either. You cannot use it in another software. You cannot use it in another job, and that type of license exists. There is a lot of examples. For example, Coca-Cola recipe. That's an example. Many people, even in Colombia, knows how to make Coca-Cola, but they won't say it because of the trade secret. The suit will be so big enough to don't say it by any means. Okay, so saying that, we are going to our three scenarios. Our three scenarios are: first one, your thesis. Suppose that you are doing your thesis, and in your thesis you are doing a software. and the university, and this is a common scenario, the university asks you this paper to transfer the patrimonial rights of the software to the university. So we state here that is good use to put an MIT license. MIT license is a license of non-protective FOSS license. So um, is it good for you or is not? So let's talk a little bit about it. Um, when we say that you need to transfer the patrimonial rights to the university, it has two meanings. The first one, the obvious one, is that the university can ask money for your software, right? And you cannot after that because you transferred the right. And the second one is that there is a right that cannot be transferred. That is the authorship right. That will be you always. If you wrote the software, that software is forever of you. It doesn't matter if you sign a document and you go into the notary and put a stamp on it and it says that you won't be the author of the software. It doesn't mean anything. That is not a legal document. It has no validity. So mm, what the point that we want to do here is that if you know the law, if you know how to do this, you can actually understand why those rights are different. So what happens if you put a non-protective license in your degree work in your software part of your thesis? Uh, and why is the possibility of that? Maybe you think that you can use that afterwards in your work. So you say, you know what? I want to make a new company. I want to be an entrepreneur, and I will need part of the software that I made in my thesis. So the problem is that I cannot use it because I transferred already. I'm talking in the future, right? I, I transferred the patrimonial rights of my thesis. So what you should do, I think, is to put an MIT license, for example, a non-protected license. Why is that? Because actually you are not doing anything different from what the university is saying. Meaning, the university won the patrimonial rights with, well, actually, a MIT license is that, is a transfer of patrimonial rights, but not only to the university, but with everyone else, to the whole world. So you are put it in something similar to the public domain. And that means that the university can use it. So if they want the patrimonial rights, they can use it. They can ask money for it. So that's no problem. But the good thing about it is that you can do it. You can actually uh, put the license that you want because you are the author, but you can be also get benefit from that license. If you want to use um, your software after that, you can because the license permit you to do it. I mean, you are part of the world, and when you did that kind of license, you share your work with the world, and you can use it. So can do a very nice thing because you are following the rules of the university, and you got to grade, you got to get the diploma, but also you get to got the software. So you follow the rules of the university, but also you mm, you keep your right of the software. I hope that's clear enough. So I will make my question that you need to answer for the second activity, and is this one: is uh, why uh, better than why which is the best way to get money from this situation? Meaning, you want to make a new business with this software, and what are the advantages that you have if you do that? If you Because you are actually competing with the whole world, right? Because the whole world now, if you have an MIT license, the whole world will have your code, will have your software, and can use it and can sell it. So, how this business works? Is it possible to work out with this business? It's economical viable or is not? And why? Why is that? Why is viable financially? And in the part of the personal reflection, I want to ask you if you will do it. If I'm sure you are thinking or you are doing your work for getting the degree. So, what can are you putting a license? And if not, if you are not thinking, or and your advisor, right? Your advisor, maybe he or she has something to tell about the license that you will put in your thesis if you are doing software, of course. Um, if not, the question will be answered because it's about your reflection about your experience, right? So if you not, what happened? What happened if you do not put a license into software? And what are the rights that you have, the rights that you don't have to say that? And if you are doing it, if you are putting the license, which kind of license, and why, why, why that kind of license? Mm, and what is the advantages of the license that you choose? That's the first one. The second one that we call the service. Um, it's this software that actually it it will be loved for a lot of people, I suppose. We make this little joke that we say that is the next Candy Crush. Candy Crush is a software that many people use actually, and it's a very good, well planned software. And maybe you want to put an EULA, right? That means that you want to put a proprietary license. Um, this is the thing that I want to ask you about. It's quite straightforward, isn't it? If there is any question about it, please put it in the mail or here in the chat room or directly to my WhatsApp. Um, you have this app, and this app is quite used, and you know it. So you want to sell it, right? So it's an app, and maybe you expect that 1 million people use it. So you put $1 in the app store, so it's $1 million right away. So the question is, what is the problem of that? If you do that, if you use Ayula and you got that million users, is that easy? It's only to get that $1 million and you got it right, and now you are a millionaire and you have no problems in the life, okay? Or when you did that, you got some responsibilities, for example, the warranties. And what are those warranties? And what happens if you cannot cover those warranties? So the question is that, right? Question is, what is the dark side of the EULA? What is the responsibility that you have if you do that? And what are the possible problems that you get with that? That in the question, and in the reflection area, I want to ask you if you respect the EULA that you have. I I want to ask you if you have books that you didn't buy, you just downloaded from the web, or you have software that is not legal. For example, the Office. Office will be weird because the university gave you Office, so please use the license that is given to you by the university. But for example, gaming. In the games, that's so a big illegal hacking world that you can get a lot of games, and the operative systems also, for example, Windows, right? Windows is an operative system that is cracked a lot. Mm, and I wonder reflection in the sense connected to the question, in the sense that if you are those guys, if you are the guy that actually wrote the game or the Windows or whatever, someone is robbing you directly. And why you are robbing people if you are doing it, if you are not doing it, it's possible also. Why is the thing, what is the real reason? mm, I can give you a hint. I don't have any illegal or book software, or I try to, but I don't think I have now, and for a long time now, let's say 20 years maybe. And and it's because I don't want to rob. It's that straightforward, easy answer, but it's a longer answer, and I'm just saying a hint in the sense that I want a real reflection. Remember that you need to do 2 pages of the reflection. The 3 questions in 2 pages. It's not 2 pages each question. It's the whole thing is in just 2 pages. But I mean, it's not enough to say I don't want to rob. I need to say why I don't want to rob, right? And I can write a lot of it, I'm sure. For example, I believe that is bad for the other people and for me, so I don't want to have problems, myself and the others. I don't have to have it, and I value the effort of them. I mean, I wrote I wrote a book once, and I editing books. I used to editing books. I really like to edit, and it's a lot of work. I mean, the last book that I edited, it took me 2 years to do it. So um, I want to respect the job. And in our case, in the case of the software, I really need to get that conscience of respect the work that we do, right? We need to start to respect the software development. That's a quite nice job and a quite important job and a respectable job. So if we are starting to rob it, it's an disrespect and actually to ourselves. So I will reflect about it, but of course you can reflect about whatever you want. And the third one is the support. Um, Before that, I want to say this. We have a case scenario with a non-protective software. The second scenario is a most protective software, is a EULA directly, right? It means that in this one you can do whatever you want with that software. In this one you cannot do anything but use it. And in the third one is the middle, right? You are saying a GPL software, so it means that you are given the software to the world, um, but and you have these clients that you think that you know to use it. I will do an example. I have an idea of software because I have been uh, being an academic in universities for a dozen of years already, and I used to I worked in various a number of universities, and no university has a good schedule planner software. It doesn't exist apparently. So I was thinking do in my free time that just a free planner schedule planner software, but it's a quite hard job because it's there is a reason because there is no existence software of that, right? And it's because it's quite difficult. You need to know about machine learning and deep learning and a lot of different stuff. So it's too expensive, and if you want to do it for free, what is the catch, right? And it's kind of this. Let's say that I will do it and I will put a GPL version 3 license. That means that every university can use it, and there is no way that uh, put mine. They use it. They can transform it, but if they transform it, they have rules. For example, they need to put it again in the web, and they cannot get money from it. And that's interesting because why someone wants to do that in a software that is really difficult to do and expensive to do, and you need a kind of lot of knowledge to do it. And maybe the idea is the support. If I wrote the original software and many people are using it because they need it, because that is the only way to do any process, or a process, um, it means that they are going to actually enhance it. They will improve it. And that improvement mm, will help my software. And I will be the guy that knows most of the software. So maybe I can support it. I can make this company only to support the software. And there's a lot of it. Moodle, I think, is kind of that. If you know Moodle, is an LMS similar to Canvas, and it has a huge contribution of the different parts of the world, and it's a huge company. And you can actually contact the guy that wrote. I met him once. He came to Colombia, and actually he do a lot of money because the people that are actually depending of that software for the business, they prefer the best contractor, and actually he is the best contractor because actually he's the author. So yes, that is the support way. My question about it is if you think it is actually a good idea to have a GPL version 3 in another software, not in the case scenario that I'm putting. That is the most common scenario for GPL version 3. If you want to do money, there is another scenario when you don't have to. You don't want money, so you just contribute it and put the license just to guarantee that the software and the contribution is still. But that's not the question. The question is if you want to make money with a GPL software that is not the support one, what will be, what will it be, and in the reflection is more about the contribution section and the public domain section. Are you going to do in, do you have the plan, or if not, or you haven't think about it, could be part of your plan in the future to have contribution, just to have a contribution, no money involved? Are you ready to make a software for the benefit of others and not to get any money off it, and just to, do it for the benefit, put it online, put the GPL version 3 in it, and still have some support to it when the people ask you, and just for fun and just for the benefit, and that's it. That's our our three questions. So let me check. There is someone. There is no questions in the chat. Okay, good. Okay, so this is it. This is our class. I hope you enjoy it. Do not hesitate in ask any question directly. No problem. I have no problem with almost anything. So just ask, drop me a line. Thank you very much. I think I will answer your post in the forum this evening apart. If And that's it. Have a good night. Sleep tight. Bye.